Alia! Ali! Alia! Come here, darling, please.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. This music is what gets me hype, guys. This music is what gets me hype. This music gets me hype all the time. Welcome to Ride Along Live. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Watson. How you doing? Welcome to the ride. Yeah. What? Yeah, guys, so I had to make a quick run out today and run back in because I'm still here. I had to do a little, drop to the Caribbean and swing back in. So let not your heart be worried, guys. I am here. Lacey J, how you doing? Welcome back. Spoiled child. Now welcome back. I mean, you changed your name. You didn't go nowhere, actually. But you're here. We'd like to have you here, Lacey J. Big up. Hey, Greta, how you doing? Big up yourself. Guys, as you're coming, go ahead and share up the thing. Delon, how you doing? Big up yourself. Hey, Herbert, all the way from Jamaica. Hey, big up to my Jamaican friends. Today, we're going to have a conversation, guys. We're going to talk about Grenada election 2022. There is so much things that we need to speak about. It's political madness. Let me tell you, yesterday, I drove around Grenada. In fact, I did a whole tour around the island. Lord have mercy. I swear in Grenada have more than 100,000 people. Nah, Grenada have more than 100,000 people. It's not 100,000, probably like about 500,000. Let me tell you something. So I drove through the western side, guys, and I was able to pass over in Dr. Keith Mitchell constituency. If all you see mass, buses upon buses upon buses upon buses heading to Pearls. Because yesterday they had a massive rally, gospel rally over there on the Pearls airstrip. And they took the overhead shot at the actual concert, at the actual, rally. A lot of I swear 100,000 people was there. 100,000 people was there. And then you look at the NDC rally yesterday. If I tell you, so it's political fever here in Grenada, guys. Kiki, how you doing? Big up yourself. Welcome, Kiki. Hi from London. How you doing? So yes, so that's what we're seeing right now, guys. Just everybody just in political readiness, because election is going to be on the 23rd of this month of June, just a few more days before Grenadian go to the poll. And they say that this is setting up itself to be like the mother of all election. There's two very, very different, it's totally different, guys. It's like on two ends of the equator. We have one political party, and that's a major political organization that has been in power for the past, well, it won at least two consecutive clean sweep three in total. All right. And we have a newly energized and revitalized National Democratic Congress under the leadership of Deacon Mitchell. And the party consists of a lot of faces that has not been in the political circle before. So the difference is the NNP is saying that they are the safer hands. They are the safer hands who could take Grenada and continue the journey for Grenada. And the NDC is saying, well, listen, they need some fresh ideas. So they come in with some fresh ideas. So this is to discuss everything political, guys. We decided to bring some of my friends on the program here today, guys. We decided to bring on two of my friends. One, you know him very well. He is a historian, and he is a culture man from St. Andrews, Livingston. Nelson, I see his video is stuck right there. He's going to sort this out shortly. So as soon as you do that, he'll come on. And from Jamaica, you guys know him as Chopa, but today we're going to refer to him as Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris, welcome to the program, my friend. How you doing, Chris?
Greetings, Junior. I'm doing well.
Yes. Well, Livingston go sort out himself. His visual is stuck right there, and I'm thinking that he probably had a drop in his internet, and that would be fixed up soon. So, Chopa, tell me, boy, how you doing, boy? I see you in quite a long time. How you been?
Yeah, man, I ain't see you in a while, Junior. But things are good. I see you have some action in your side of town, political action. Heating up the place, lots of flags and banners and road marches and parties.
Yeah.
But notably, I see Jamaica is down there, man. What's going on?
In a lot of different ways. In a lot, that is part of the conversation. That is part of the conversation, because me and you had this talk earlier, and it was interesting. You brought this up to me, and I said, you know what? Let's talk about it. I think a lot of people in how the probably the wording was phrased. I don't know if they have a misconception of what we are about to talk about, because I saw a lot of people pushing back. They don't need to push back. We have nothing against Jamaica. We have nothing against Jamaicans. In fact, a lot of my good friends like Chopa and the whole crew, Rapper Crapper and all those guys are my close friends, and we're always on the program. So it's not in degrading Jamaica and degrading Jamaican influence. It's just to talk about it. And it's good when we can have this conversation, mature conversation. So I'm happy that we had this conversation earlier, and we could bring it forth here to get other people's input on it. So while we wait for my good friend Livingston Nelson to sort out his internet, Chopa, what is your take on Grenada election? I know you're in Jamaica, and you also very close with the Jamaica Labour Party, so you're seeing it from that bird's eye view. What's your take on Grenada election?
Well, interesting. Thank you, Junior, and thank you to your viewers. Big up to our sister island, Grenada. I want to say that, Junior, it's serious, because Jamaica, Grenada, anybody who existed from the 70s, if you're a 70s baby, 80s baby, you'd understand the connection between Jamaica, Grenada. It goes way back. And I'm not surprised that the political connection carries through to now, because it started from those days, The Grenada invasion back in 1983 would have seen Jamaica playing a very integral role in what you could consider to be the peace, holding the peace within Grenada at the time. And if anybody goes back to the history, I stand to be corrected, you can check it. The United States would have come in and did some of the heavy lifting, for want of a better word. But it was the Jamaica Defense Force and the Jamaican Authority who basically held it together on the ground there in Grenada for some over 3 years. We had troops on the ground in Grenada, not taking sides in the political landscape at the time, but basically maintaining law and order until the situation was calm, because leading up to 1983, it was very tense.
Mm-hmm.
A very tense situation, and needless to say, we lost a prime minister there. Well, we lost one of the top leaders of one of the two political movements at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So that connection carries through till now. So I'm not surprised. And then you have to also make the connection, Junior, with the geopolitical positioning of both countries.
Right.
The Labour Party here in Jamaica is a right-wing movement, and it's also part of the international right-wing movement. And for those who don't know, almost every political party in the world is aligned, whether to the left or to the right.
Right. So
They
the
are
Jamaica
aligned.
Labour Party, the New National Party, the Republican Party in the US is in the same right-wing movement, the same alignment.
Absolutely. They're all in the same. And whether we like it or not, it is in the best interest of the bigger guy in the room, which is the United States.
Right.
Though they might not come out and endorse or come out and castrate the other side, it is always a good thing for that in sync kind of cooperation. It is good for the United States when a Republican is in office for the Labour Party to be in office in Jamaica. And it is also good for Jamaica when the Labour Party is in power for the same right-wing movement to be in office in other islands, because that's how it is. If it's a left movement, and the truth is, we saw a shift from that in recent times, because if you check it now, there are several countries which that original alliance that we're accustomed to in terms of right wing supporting right wing, left wing supporting left wing, it's not consistent anymore, even though it is the hallmark of global politics. It is how politics is practiced globally.
Right.
So whether we like it or not, there is connections, and of course, if you notice, when the Jamaica Labour Party in Jamaica has a conference, you will find people from the Keith Mitchell group coming down to Jamaica to give support, and vice versa. You'll find persons here. I mean, if you go back to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you'll see the same thing happen over with Ralph Gonzalez. He is from the left. So you will find now persons even from Jamaica who are associated with the People's National Party. You'll find them going down there to support the Ralph Gonzalez administration. And the same thing for the Jamaica Labour Party. You'll find persons going down to Grenada to support the Keith Mitchell administration.
We'll come back to that because this is a very important conversation. Guys, if you just joined in, we're talking about the Grenada election and the affiliation, the geopolitics of what's happening here. Livingston, you're back. You're seeing you good. Your internet looks good. How are you doing, Livingston? But we're not hearing you, though. All right, try again. No, we're not hearing you. We're not hearing you. Okay, guys, we're watching Right Along Live. We're gonna try going out and come back in, Livingston, and see if that fix the problem with your audio. Guys, you're watching Right Along Live. We're talking about the political structures. Livingston, you there? All right, no, we're still not hearing you. We're still not hearing you. So you sort that out. We saw that out. Right. Yeah. Okay. Chopa, while we work on Livingston audio, this is what happened. Yeah. This is what happened this week, because I think it goes further than just the geopolitical affiliation. This is what happened this week, right? This week we had two major youth fests. The NNP had a massive rally with Popcorn and Jamil. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Livingston, you there? Livingston, you there? No. Still nothing, Livingston. Yeah, still nothing, Livingston. I don't know if you want to move back on the other device that you was on earlier. Right. Yeah, so we had two massive rallies, right? We had the Youth Fest, that was the NPU Youth Fest, and it was Popcorn and Jamil, and the NDC came in, and there was some kind of discomfort. Initially, there was a lot of discomfort because people were saying here in Grenada that why is it that the political party is bringing in this Jamaican big influencer which some people say, and it was later dispersed, that it was later said that it was somehow sponsored. But initially, the talks was that the political party is spending X amount of dollars. Hold on. Livingston, you there?
Yeah, I am here.
Okay, all right, Livingston, we're hearing you now. Thank you so much. Yes. Okay, so before we go into that, let's get Livingston intro. Livingston, welcome to the Right. How are you doing, Livingston?
Well, let me just say, I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. I'd move around trying to, let me see if you get me. I didn't want the light. Are you seeing me clearly?
You get away from that window. That window in the back there. That window in the back there. Just turn way away from that window because it's kind of making you look dark. So just turn even more away from the window.
Right. I'm gonna get something to just turn it up a little bit just now.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you sort that out, guys. We'll give you opportunity to voice your opinion as well, as we always do. Open up the phone lines here. The number that you'll be able to call and chat with us is 718-701-5720. Numbers on the screen, so you could chime in. Livingston, are you back?
Yeah, I'm here, but I think
don't worry about it. Leave it. Forget about it. Don't worry about it. Leave it. That's fine.
Okay.
Livingston, you on the ground in Grenada. What's your take on what's happening on the ground politically?
A lot of things seem to be, well, there's a new kind of dynamic in Grenada in the political sphere right now. I cannot remember when last we have seen that level of competitiveness within the political arena on the ground. Well, NDC is revived. NNP seem to, this party seem to feel they have a lot at stake, and they are all to prove that they have more years to complete the mission. So they are all sided in a big way, trying to consolidate. As the Prime Minister seems to be trying to ensure that he put his mark to ensure that he has a legacy, to complete one more year or one more term.
Yeah.
One for the road. But you have the NDC in a sense saying, well, listen, you've been having, up to close to 38 years in the political, what more can you want? And what do you show for the time you have been? And so I think the discussion is such that is extremely contrasting. I must say, Junior, and to all the listeners, that it is I don't think we have ever had an era where you have you had such a proactive the incumbent, the NDC. They have a message that is so completely different from the NDC of the past.
Right.
No longer it is focused on, well, you do this, you do that. It is a complete new message saying that is the way we need to go. We are 50 years close to being independent. We need to move this country forward. We have been stagnating. Let us see how we could at least change pace, or at least go into gear. Go into gear to move this country in a particular direction. And I've never heard in my adult experience, adult life, any kind of policy or so clear as to the direction that any political party wants to take, be it here or in St. Vincent, St. Lucia. It's a very, very clear-cut agenda. It's extremely clear. And I believe it's creating a lot of discourse in the public arena as to, well, what do we go? We have this, the NNP, and we're saying, well, we have safe hands. We have been there. We have been proven. And then we have been able to deliver this and that. On the other hand, the NDC is saying, well, you have not, show me what you have, since you're there, show me what you have brought to the table. Right. Show me what plans, what policies you have that mature that now the Grenadian people can really benefit from. So it is a very interesting era, and we just have to wait and see. But it's extremely interesting. It has never been like that.
And it's polar opposite. Chopa, you have been around politics for a while in Jamaica, right? We have two separate arguments. We have, as Livingston just said, we have the NNP who is saying that, if he ain't broken, don't fix it. We keep moving forward. Let's go with the people that you know and trust. And NDC is saying, well, we're new, we're fresh, we have the energy, we have the vision, the bigger, wider focus. In your level of experience, Chopa, who you think would have the better argument as you've seen. Any precedents in that? Okay.
Same position that is being echoed in Grenada is the same position in Jamaica, because you have a government that just served 2 consecutive terms, a total of about 10 years if you do it by year under the constitution. But there are persons who believe that the Prime Minister of Jamaica should not go beyond a 3rd term, right? There are utterings on the ground now that's saying this should be the final term for the Prime Minister. But you have equally persons who believe, just like in Grenada, that if it ain't break, don't fix it. And people will cite other leaders. For example, in Jamaica, they like to cite Lee Kuan Yew and Singapore and the amount of years he would have led Singapore for. Jamaica like to cite Barbados was one example too. But I don't know. It's a funny thing, because then it's always a good thing to look at new and fresh ideas, especially when you have a vibrant opposition. And when an opposition presents to the people a credible opposition, a government in waiting, somebody with fresh ideas, energized movement, then that will resonate with the people, and the people will give that party, whichever it is, an opportunity to lead. But that energized movement with new, bright ideas will have to emerge. And equally, for that to come to the fore, it means that the incumbent will have to show some level of stagnation and not moving forward as much as they ought to, you know?
Right. Who are the stronger case? Who are the stronger case to prove Livingston? In this particular instance here, again, polar opposite campaign, polar opposite. Who has the harder task at this point?
It is difficult for both. I don't know who has the harder task, but let me just say, we as a people always get excited by nature. We want to be better than our parents. We want to be better than how we are. It is just innate in us. You play cricket. You can play cricket at your village level,
right?
And you might offer a chance to go and in a workshop, and you might make your parish, eventually your country. It is exciting to want to go beyond your present capabilities, or your present status. And so there was a level of excitement. You know, Grenadians have this love affair with some aspect of the Grenada Revolution, because it ignited the imagination, it made them believe. And the same thing happened, let me just say, not just the revolution, the same thing happened under Gary, when Gary challenged the colonial master and said, well, listen, we as Afro-Caribbean people, we could be better than. We don't have to be settling for the low wages. We could wear boots, we could wear slippers, we could have houses not made out of bamboo and rosewood, but out of board and other materials. And that created an idea, because we ideally as humans want to be better than how we are. So that forward transformational ideology and by the NDC is resonating with people of a possibility now, not just of you as an individual, but as a country that could move from where we are. And what NDC has cited is that we basically have become second class to everything had to be, well, how do we solve the tourists? How do we solve the foreigners? And now we're saying, well, we can do it for ourselves. Why do we have to be their servants? Why can't we be, in charge of our own affair? Why can't we share the resources of our country with them, rather than they acquiring our main areas, and then we become second class and we have to stay behind the gate, stay behind the wall, stay behind the fence and peep? Why do we always have to be the yard boys and the yard girls? So I think that generation, or that creation or expression of fresh ideas would always overcome the fact that I'm giving you, some materials or building a little road. Mind you, it is good for you, but you want more than that as a human being. You want more than that. You want to see your country evolve into something that make you feel a sense of pride. So
Right.
I believe that is easier to. Has it penetrated enough with enough persons to warrant that new revolutionary thought? But Junior and Chris, right?
Yes.
Chris, yeah. Anytime, if you look at every great nation, it start with fresh ideas. It start with challenging persons to be better than. I mean, after the Second World War, when Japan sat down and they say, well, listen, we must build Japan any way we want to. Singapore, some of those countries, it came with fresh ideas. Every movement that created some form of upward mobility started with some ideas. Not how long you have been there, as what the narrative that is taking place about experience versus what created wealth is vision. What created any semblance of a civilized society is vision. Is not the fact that people were there long or in any particular position, but is usually a new, fresh, innovative group of persons that challenge the status quo, that would move the meter.
Right. Again, guys, you're watching Right Along Live. We're having this conversation, but we want to get you guys involved as well. We're talking about the election campaign, and the influences, the outside influences that's having a big stake in the election here in Grenada. And we was at the point, Chopa, I was asking you about the musical influences, because we had two big youth fests this past week, where NNP had Popcorn, massive concert, and Jamil. And then yesterday, NDC had Javinci, Jamaicans. So, Chopa, what is the major attraction? What is the pull that the both parties are weighing so heavily on Jamaica? And then they also had Rhoda. What is it? Rhoda Coy. Yeah, you're right. Rhoda Coy was also here in the end. What is the attraction besides the geopolitics of the whole thing?
Well,
All right, well, last Chopa, we're going to get him back here. Guys, you're watching Right Along Live. We're going to give you an opportunity to call in as well. The number that you call is 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. You could call on the phone line, and you could also call on the WhatsApp. Again, 718-701-5720. Chopa, you're back.
Okay, good. Perfect. So Junior, what happened? The influence that we're seeing, read the music. That is somewhat separate and apart from the politics. Are you hearing me now, Junior?
Right. Yeah, I'm hearing you. Am
I on? Okay, good. So that is separate and apart from the music connection between the islands. Is very powerful. And you and I have had this discussion on the ride before, where we're looking at calypso, we looked at soca, we looked at reggae, we look at dancehall. And whether we like it or not, dancehall music has a tremendous influence on the region on a whole. And that genre of music has brought a lot of young people, energized young people towards politics. The last election in Jamaica, single member of parliament, every single candidate had musical influence in their campaign, heavy musical influence. We've spent more money in the last election on making music, spending money among reggae and dance art we have ever done in the history of this country. So I thought that not to be strange, but the same thing trickled down to Grenada's election now. Because, like I said, the last election, we spent a lot of money on Carnes and the Beanie and Bunty and everybody to do what you call dub plates for the leaders. I wrote offered showing up in for the teach administration. It's not strange. It's not something surprising. What is that we have not seen
Okay.
More
Hold on, Chopa. Your
members
audio
are
is
part.
your hold on, Chopa. Your
More
audio
persons
is
from Jamaica.
hold on,
From
Chopa.
the G2K in Jamaica going down the support. Because like
Chopa, hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hold on one second,
make no
Chopa.
mistake about it, political connection.
All right, Chopa, having some internet connection audio. Let's jump to the phone lines and Chopa, stand by a second. Your audio is messing up. Stand by. Caller, your live. Where you calling us from? Yeah, jump out and come back in. Caller, your live. Where you calling us from?
I'm calling from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, go right ahead.
Yes, I look at the boat food fest, and my concern is like, why are we bringing in artists from overseas when we can spend the money on our own artists? And it bothers me that way, because even though it's youth fest, you keep the people that in the country, which is the same people that you want vote for you.
Right.
You spend the money on that. That's where I look at the youth fest and I was baffled.
But we have to also keep in mind that both political organizations did it, and not only this election.
Yes, I look at both political youth fest, both sides.
Right.
But it's like I'm questioning myself, because we are saying, okay, we're trying to keep the jobs and keep the people at a level that where the country can get, go higher, but then we're going outside.
Right. Okay, so your question is, you don't think that they should bring in outside artists? But here's the pushback that we get in now.
Yeah.
Why is it when they have local artists and local performers, people just don't come out and support them as much as foreign artists? So is it much of a question about who they bring in, or much of what the people are asking for? Much of what the people what the youths are engaged?
That's what I'm saying. It's youth. So the thing is, doesn't matter who you bring from overseas, the youth they're gonna show up. Doesn't matter, even they have to pay from their pocket. But we have to learn to support our own,
right,
and uplift ourselves. But
right.
if we cannot do that, then how are we gonna move forward?
Right. Okay, caller. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for your input. Yeah, very important topic. I want to touch on it, but let me jump back to the someone on the WhatsApp. Here's someone on the WhatsApp. Caller, your live. Call on the WhatsApp. Turn on your background audio a bit. Turn on your background audio because we're getting a feedback. Just listen to us on the phone lines and turn down your TV or whatever you have in the background, caller. Hello? Hello? All right. That caller. Call us back when you sort that out. Again, guys, 718-701-5720. Livingston, go right ahead.
Yeah. Well, I think as a people, African people, music has always been an integral part of our sorrow or our celebration. And as it relates to bringing the Jamaican artists, we must admit that some of the more international and bigger influencers in terms of, are from Jamaica. So if you bring a Berries, you bring a Grams, maybe Popcorn, and those guys have large following. And so what you want in a political environment, like a campaign, you want to bring your influencers to come and say, well, I associate with this party. In a very subtle way, that is what you say now. So when an artist go on a stage, the artist is basically saying, I am supporting the plans or vision of that political party. And they allow the name to be associated with that. Now, it's a difficult thing for you when you live in the island itself, like Grenada, particularly knowing our political terrain, for artists of what to go on a platform. You take a risk in terms of having repercussion. But it's easier for Jamaican artists or Trinidadian artists to come on the stage because they would not go through that. Now, I am also saying, if it was possible to get somebody like a Stevie Wonder or Oprah Winfrey or what is guys are named Babyface or any one of those guys are named, we would do that. We can't afford them.
Right.
So what we want is people of influence to come and associate with your party. But there's a next part that why we bring big name artists.
Yeah.
The reason being why they bring big name artists. The reason being is that you want people to come and follow you at least one time, hoping that they might like the vibes and they might stay.
Yeah.
So that is the whole idea. So
it's a pull. It's a pull.
Yeah.
It's a pull. It's a pull, of course, to bring out as much people as possible.
Yeah. So somebody may come to your house one time. They never thought you friendly. They never, you're not a nice guy. They say, oh, Junior, I don't know this guy. This guy is not a friendly guy. And Junior say, come to my house. And then the person come, I never know Junior was a nice guy because he came once. So that is the idea. You hope that they come to your political rally one time, first time, and they might just stay. So that is the yardstick they use.
Yeah, let's jump back to the phone. We got a caller on the line. Caller on the WhatsApp, go right ahead.
Hi, good evening.
Hey, hold on, caller, second caller. If you're on speakerphone, take out of speaker because we hear a lot of air in your phone lines.
Okay, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, all right?
Yes.
What I would say, every day is fishing, every day is not catching.
Right.
We have this going on 4 to 5 years, every 4 to 5 years. I mean, the people have not matured in any way, really. They do not know what to ask for, what to fight for, what is necessary, and what is not. The people do not go out there. I mean, they have the massacre show.
Mm-hmm.
My friends were like 16, 17, came to my house. I wasn't feeling that well, but I did go out. And I would tell you what I saw there. There were kids scaling up the wall because they had the tickets, they sold it, or they just did not.
Right.
So I think it was a good thing for bringing the guys there. These are the guys that they do love. And even when they were there, I was not at the show itself, but I looked at it live from my neighborhood.
Right.
And what I saw is that our local artists got all the attention, really.
Right.
This has nothing to do with our political influences or anything. Nobody should be coming from outside to tell you how you feel uncomfortable. You live here, you experience, you can say, I mean, they should have like comment boxes at the ministries and different things. We can do things and we can work together. People want to change, it's all right. But we need to step up a lot of things that are not really, because we just resemble third world. And I mean, even Africa does not resemble third world anymore. And that's my contribution for tonight. So I hope everybody take this in and really try, like, not fight anybody, because the young guy is just a young guy. Yes, he might not have experience, but the doc was a young guy, if we all remember, and he made history. We could make history together and be in peace, or we could make history together and be in war. War, what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Good night, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, caller. A lot to say right here. Chopa, I want you guys to remember, because I don't want you guys to miss out on it, but I have to take this call because some calls are coming in from for a long distance. So let's take this call on the WhatsApp. Caller, you live, go right ahead. Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, New York. Go right ahead.
First, I must say, this evening the conversation is a one-sided conversation. I really think you should have had somebody from the NNP, because everybody knows Mr. Nelson is from the NNP.
I'm happy that you said that. So I had to say this at the beginning, so let me say it right now. We on this program right here have an open door policy for NNP, NDC, TGM, everybody to come on here.
Yeah, okay.
I could say on record that I've invited numerous parliamentarian candidates from the NNP to come on this platform. So let's have this conversation. It's either they would decline or they just would not take my call. I would love to have someone from the NNP on this program right here to talk about this. Rest assured, we tried. But we still don't have the program if they decide not to. And we still have an open door for NNP, NDC, TGM, whoever to come and speak. So if you have the influencer, I want you to beg them, please. Because the last time I called someone and I invited them to come on, my name ended up in a live saying I calling and begging NNP to come on, and they're not coming on. So if they don't want to come on, we're still going to have this conversation. So if you have the influence, talk to them for me. So go ahead.
Anyway, that is not great. But the other issue I have, right? I have that big issue when it was the popcorn show. I saw one woman, she came on Facebook and she had a big thing about popcorn, got so much money, and after that, I was against all foreign artists. I say all foreign artists should not be coming in Grenada around election time. You have all your other time when you just come, you shouldn't, right? And there were their supporters who jump up with me and say the local artists should get it. But on Friday we heard Javinci was coming and nobody said nothing. To me, if we must be fair. Everybody keep taking their side now. It's not about side. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Right. When it's wrong, and it doesn't matter which side does it or whose side doesn't do it. You know, wrong is wrong. And I find these days we say that we were a Christian nation and we were this, but it seems as though all our Christian values and all our values as men and women start going down the drain because of politics. And I don't think that's fair. Wrong is wrong. If the PM do wrong, if he can do wrong, whatsoever is wrong. And it doesn't, we shouldn't take side when something is wrong. And that's how it is now. That's my contribution.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you speaking in defense of that. And I would like for more. If we could have more people, callers, I mean, candidates, please come on. Let's talk. Let us have this conversation. Let me know what your position is on many of the different agenda items. We don't bite. We don't have teeth over here. Nobody don't bite over here. So
that's
please.
it. It's about moving our country forward. It's not about, at the end of the day, anybody wins, we still have to leave there. So it's not about or I mean about this party or that party. It's what's best for us.
Right.
You know, that's what it is. It should be.
Absolutely. Thank you, caller. We appreciate you. Thanks for your input. Yes, a lot to digest here. But Chopa, I want to talk about this, right? Debates and the candidates coming together. I'm going to hold that call for a little bit. The candidates coming together and speaking on a platform about their projection and what they plan to do publicly, debate. How is that work out in Jamaica, Chopa?
It plays a very important role in the politics here. I mean, people look forward to it because
so they do have a debate. They do have a debate in Jamaica. They do have a debate in Jamaica.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And look forward to it because that's an opportunity for persons to question the two representatives and to get a good understanding as to what it is that they have planned for the people of Jamaica and for the people of Grenada as well. It should be that debate should be where you basically selling your stuff. What I find happen, Junior and Livingston, is that persons are a little bit reluctant to unveiling their plans for the country, which I think it's a little bit awkward because you want the persons to vote for you, you want them to bring you on board, but you're refusing to divulge the plans because you're scared that the ruling party sometimes will take those plans and implement them. And that is where we are losing focus because the focus shouldn't be on the political parties, you know. It's really the people that you're and the country that you want to develop. So you should really use that opportunity in those debates. And in Jamaica, I tell you, people will glue around their television to watch these debates because it forms part of the political manifesto going forward. Usually in the debates, it comes around about a time when either the manifesto is out in its entirety or sections of it, and it's on that basis that they are questioned. The incumbents usually get a lot of questions based on their past performance and what is expected going forward.
Yes.
But I'm eager to touch, Junior, because you have a young candidate coming in Grenada now. And if it's global politics, most, including Jamaica, when Andrew Holness took office, he was among the young bloods coming in. So there's a history in recent times of younger candidates And that is why you're seeing the Dr. Mitchell administration using a popcorn. Because remember now, Dr. Mitchell is not that young, you know. So he wants to bring that young crowd in. He can't hold the mic. So popcorn will have to do it for him. So that's where these influencers comes in. And it's very, very interesting to see.
I wanna go to Livingston. I also want to address the post that I pinned on the screen, but I also want to take a call. I want to do 3 things. Let's take the caller first, and then we go do everything else after. Caller, your library calling us from on the WhatsApp. Go ahead.
Good evening, Junior. I'm your panelist. I am calling from Grenada.
Thank you. Hi, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. I just want to make a contribution on the subject of foreign artists in our politics. Now, Junior, you have been exposed to entertainment and promotion, so you understand the business. And I think some of us are acting as though this is new, right? Some elections are back. I remember the NNP brought Bourgeois bands and the NDC brought very common. It's something that happens. Remember, these very common. These political parties, both of them, the NDC and the NNP, they have to sell a message. And what is the number one thing that sells? Entertainment. So if you as a trying to get the bigger or the biggest audience, you're not going to settle for a mediocre artist. You'll try to ensure that you bring to your people headliners. Popcorn is a headliner, and Da Vinci is as well in his own right. And so I am not going to give any of the political parties any like blows because they've decided to add a foreign element to their politics. Another point I want to make, the people who are complaining, let us look at our Spice Mass. Every Spice Mass major event features a foreign artist, whether that artist comes from Jamaica or Trinidad, and we accept that. When you look at the flyers, our national artists or local artists are at the bottom. Who headlines the show? The foreign artists. Yes. So we can't shy away from that. So the parties are viewing it from the same angle. If you want the big crowd, because some on election day, though from my perspective, out of 1,000 people doesn't mean 1,000 people would go out and vote for you. If the NNP had casted Vibes Cartel, just as an example, though he's in prison, if he was out and they had cast him, every single person in Grenada would have gone to that event. You see, because they want to send a message through numbers and with what they're saying. And so I think we're giving too much, we put too much emphasis on it as though it's a new thing, when in fact it is customary across all platforms when it comes to entertainment.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's very, very important what she brought up there, because it is not new for, take government out of it, take politics out of it, right? It's not new to have a promoter bring in a foreign artist. Everyone know, although sometimes, Chopa, I tell you this, when foreign artists come into the country, I think they mold for face dressing to bring people in. But the people who does mash up the show is the local artists.
Always. And the same thing exists in Jamaica. I was about to say to your listener just now, to your cause now, that while persons are sort of having mixed reaction about the quote-unquote foreigners coming in, it's the same thing in Jamaica, you know. It's just within the last 4 or 5 years, a little bit before COVID, that we had local artists jam-packed in the show. Because every show, the headline shows, the Sunfest, the Jazz and Blues, all those shows in Jamaica, the headline act used to be international artists. And the truth is, while those international artists might have a international appeal, it's the local act that really dominates the show. And you're right.
Absolutely.
It's the same thing for Grenada.
Absolutely. Okay, Livingston, I have to come to you, but I have to address something that is like an elephant in the room. Pardon me, guys. Give me a couple seconds. Let me address this. Leslie and Belfon, and I've heard it because I drove through yesterday, and I stopped for about a good half an hour and had this conversation with this great lady and her whole family. The question of media bias, and they say, as what is circulating, is that how I speak from a biased perspective. I'm a biased individual, right? I'm very biased. Let me just address this really quickly, guys. This is a media platform. Media platform survive by monetization, advertising. This is how we survive, right? We are a complete open platform for everyone to come and share their story from whatever organization, from whatever political affiliation. And we have done so over the past few years. Now, this whole thing about bias, send back to what we do. We have a poll. We have a poll that usually we do on the program here. It's entertainment purposes. People press star or people press heart for any political party. It's a nice entertainment program. Last election, we had the New National Party winning this poll every single time. It was the same show. It was the same host. It was the same. The different thing is the candidates and the music. Last election, NNP won every single poll that we did. And it so turned out that NNP won the election. I remember folks from the NDC camp telling me that I was biased. Last election, I was the most biased person because NNP was winning my poll. Everybody, that's what it was. That's what it was, right? I was the most biased individual on the NDC side. This election, we did the same poll. And the NNP is winning the poll. Now, we have no control of the poll because it's controlled through Facebook. We get the numbers and we put the numbers up. So because of what's happening now online on this particular program, it has been said that because the NDC now is winning the polls, not to say that they'll win the election, they're winning the polls. No, because the NNP is not winning the poll, that's because we are manipulating the numbers and we are biased. People, listen, all you just take 1 second and look around social media and see what other platform that promotes both sides of the argument done right along. We are begging for someone from the NNP to come on this platform. They refuse. They continue to refuse to come on this platform. In fact, it gets so bad, they don't even take my calls anymore. But we're still going to have the discussion. So the topic of being biased, if you choose not to watch a program because we choose to function this program, even if we don't have someone from the other side because they refuse, we're going to have a conversation and have people and mention what we're mentioning now, that we did invite and they refuse to come on the program. I just really wanted to address this whole case of bias and what we do here on this platform. Tell someone from the NNP, come on this platform and let us talk. Let us conversate. It would have been nice to have someone from the NNP on this platform. Right, Chopa? It would be nice.
Absolutely. And you know what's so funny, Junior, is that you had this sort of pushback that you got there from a couple of your viewers. You had put in through coming on the program because you had mentioned it, that those persons from the other side, from the other party would never, they don't want to come onto the program.
Well, they do. I mean, we had them before. I mean, let me tell you, I'm friends with everybody, as you know. We're friends with people who have still been on the program. They've been on the program. But I am making this appeal again to Nimrod. Please take my call. Mr. Who else? Cox, please take my call. Don't refuse when I call. Please answer the call. I'm not calling to bark at you. And every other person, candidates, we want to see you. We want to hear you. We're inviting you. Right? And I don't know why. I can't understand for the life of me why. You know? So I had to get it off my chest. But Livingston Nelson, go right ahead. You have a lot to say, so go ahead.
No, well, you threw me off because I was listening to you so much that I actually get thrown off. But,
you have to get it off his chest, man. It was important.
It's annoying. It's really annoying when I hear stuff like that. But Livingston, go ahead. I don't want to take them off your time.
I think what is Chris Chopa was mentioning something there earlier on about the debate. And, you know, to me, it is really an insult that you want to be a pastor, but you don't want to confess about your affiliation or your strong conviction or your, for Jesus or for God. You are a politician and you shy away from wanting to expose yourself to the people you want to serve. And to me, that is an extreme contradiction. You know, it's like you ask a lady, you ask her for her hand in marriage, But you don't want to talk to say whether you want to build a house with a, if you would buy land and go in agriculture. You don't want to unleash your plan. You don't want to talk about that. You just want her to marry to you. She said, do you want children? Well, you don't want to come and talk about that yet. Let us get married first. And I find that is extremely distasteful. I can't get the right adjective, but it is really belittling. To me, it is frightening. Now, if you are in government and you claim, well, you want a next term, then okay, I believe that is a good statement to make. But you are going to make a statement saying, well, listen, I have started that project. I have been investing in these plans. I have these, policy that we enacted 5 or 10 years ago, and it's just coming onto fruition. Look at some of the benefit we have already brought to you. So we need you to stay on course with us before the other persons or the other group of people, in this case NDC, come to the table and change the plan. They will derail our development plan for you. And I believe it is so clear. If you have your plan, that you have a message to sell. What is that about hiding? And Junior, I'm not even responding to you in that statement about you, who you call. I'm just finding it should be a natural thing for a civilized society. Show that enshrined in, not even, that don't have to be in law, it don't have to be in parliament. That is a courtesy that you should expose yourself to debate. It should be a natural, the populace should not accept the fact that you can run without exposing yourself for the kind of the grueling question, why you do this. I mean, yes, somebody have already in a side aligned me and my biasness. So unlike you, I am not shielding away from that. I am weighing it, I am accepting it. I am saying, yes, I probably wear a special heart here, right? But how can you be in administration and you spend 63 US million to a company, to acquire a company, and you would refuse to say where you get that money from? And a couple months after you did that, you had a budget, and there is not a word in the budget about your acquisition of such a major asset.
Well, I would like a defense to that, because again, I'm not the spokesperson for the NNP. I would like someone to defend these allegations or defend this what you just said. And this is why it's important to have the next side be on this platform or any other platform, Kellen, Bob, or whatever. You don't have to be on Right Along. We need this two group of people coming together.
That's why I'm saying it's not just about your program. Like, who bought gravel and concrete? Who bought the post office? Why were you locking down the Grenadian Lake? What major plan? How are we going to be benefiting from, say, the concretization of the Deliverer Park? Those are similar questions and many, many questions. We need to know. We need to know what are the major plans you have, down the line that would excite us. So I just believe, just treat us with a level of respect, expose yourself, and let us have a conversation in public.
Chopa, what if they were not have, they didn't, a political party, a head political party, a leading political party in Jamaica decided not to participate in the debate?
They lose the election.
They lose the election.
Simple. It happens before. In the last election, well, not this election, in 2016, the incumbent, led by the Honorable Portia Simpson Miller, lost the election because she did not participate in a debate. And I'm not saying that's the only reason, but she did not participate in a debate. They lost the election. Jamaican people wants to know, what is it that you as a new party brings to the table? And they also wants to know what the incumbent plan to do going forward. One of the major problems with Caribbean countries, Jamaica, Grenada, Trinidad, Barbados, is lack of continuation in programs and policies. Because what historically happens is that every time there's a change of administration, the policies are shelved.
Yes. Yes.
Now, bear in mind that not every policy that is pursued by the incumbent is bad. And not every policy is great either.
Right.
But the incoming party must signal to the country that, look, if we were to assume office, we plan to carry on with the policies of the incumbent government that is good policy. And we plan to revamp the ones that are not good policies. Because it cannot be. And that has held this country back. If you look at first world countries like the United States, they don't have that polarized system because they have a mechanism that ensures that there's continuation in the growth and development of the country. Grenada, I'm not sure, has demonstrated that policy, and that is why you have this issue. You know, the Dr. Keith Mitchell administration would have won since what, 2013? They've been in office since 2013, correct?
Yes.
And that's a long time. That's a really long time. They should not be scuffling to find words to explain to the Grenadian people what they can do. They should be able to campaign on their performance over the years that they've been in office. They should be able to reel out a whole slew of achievement. And it should be an easy campaign for them. It should not be difficult. Because if you're in office for that extended period of time and you have to be digging into your coffers to find ways to win the election, then it means that your performance would not be at best. And for the opposition must be able to clearly define the non-achievement of the incumbent government. And if they cannot clearly tell the Grenadian people that, look, the Keith Mitchell-led NNP has been in office since 2013 and they have not been able to move this country forward, then that would be a problem. If they cannot, Junior and Livingston, if they cannot explain to the vote clearly that after 2013 till now, right, they cannot tell the Grenadian people that this government, the existing incumbent government, is a non-performer, then they are going to the poll to lose. You have to be able to say what it is that they have achieved and what you bring. No, we have the same problem in Jamaica, you know, where people tend to ride on what is conceived to be corruption, right? And I heard Livingston spoke about a few domestic issues there and questions about things that might have happened. We have the same issues here in Jamaica, and I'm citing Jamaica because the politics in Jamaica is the same politics in Grenada, whether we like it or not.
Yes.
Right? It's the same. There's no difference. You have the same issue where persons are pointing out alleged acts of corruption between the incumbent government, and the opposition tend to use that as an argument. No, let me tell you this. What I have seen from where I sit in Jamaica, and polls have shown.
Well, at least they have an opposition. At least they have an opposition. Let's put it like that.
There you go.
The opposition has been the media.
Yes.
In Grenada, the opposition has been the media. Yes, because there is no opposition.
And the media have a responsibility as well to ensure that they hold the feet to the fire. Remember now, you know, we had the same situation in Jamaica in 1983 when we had a snap election. The Jamaica Labour Party, led by Edward Siaga, controlled all 60 seats in Parliament, right? So it's a similar situation in Grenada where all 15 seats is run by the NNP. No, you cannot, for the life of me, believe that you control the entire your position, really, because there's nobody to stand up in Parliament and to rebut and to highlight. So there has to be a movement such as the media, as you just pointed out. The media will now have to be, the civic society, the NGOs will have to step up and hold government to account. Because make no mistake, you know, even though the NNP might have won these 3 consecutive elections, right? This is not to say that they are doing well in managing the affairs of the country, because that must be tested. It must be measured and you must be able to quantify what they have achieved over the period. No, it cannot be a case where you slap, in Jamaica we say you swap black dog for monkey. It has to be that the person coming in must have a clear understanding. The people must know what is it that this new, young, vibrant party is bringing. What is it that they're going to do better than the Keep Me Tell NNP, right?
Yeah, and how it stands, and I was sent here. Ms. Newman was saying that the media in Grenada is biased. It's disgusting. You mean the social media? Social media has really been the opposition party. I think the social media and a lot of times what I see, there are a lot of intimidation on the ground. You see, we're not based in Grenada. We are outside, and there are some other independent individual on the ground who punks on things. And kudos to them. But we don't have a media as strong. To the media affiliate and in Grenada, I don't see a very strong media who do investigative journalism and go and bring things out there without fear or favor. Just bring it out as it is. We don't see a lot of that. So social media has been the opposition party in these past times. But it's important. It's important what you say. Livingston, your take.
Well, what in terms of the role of the media has been really, really quiet. For one reason or the other, the media has been, too quiet for taking, and it has a lot to do. It has a lot to do with intimidation. Let me just say, I didn't even want to go there, but let me go there. The NNP apparatus is run on ensuring that everybody get a small piece of the pie. Not enough to make you independent, not enough to make you starve, but just enough to keep you hooked. So it is easy for you to be in a particular position. And if it is perceived that you're hanging out with a group of persons that does not say the right thing about the prime minister or the party, then your job, you are being shifted around, etc. So your job is at stake. So let me go deeper into that, Junior. Look at the very outset, the removal of the commissioner of police and a series of other persons that was working in the electoral office, etc., coming on the line. But even now, this latest, where persons that are basically being collecting tax monies and they are being called NNPs are told that they have to go to the rallies and they must wear the T-shirt and attendance would be taken. So that is the way.
Is that a fact? Is that a fact?
Well, listen, I've heard it from more than one person saying that, and I've heard it again from secondary sources. So
we can independently confirm that. That's what I'm saying.
I can't say, I don't know if I would get somebody to come and say, well, that was done to me. But I can tell you it is totally widespread in Grenada that is the modus of operandi. I know of a situation where somebody said to me, and that person is not prepared to say that. When the Prime Minister came to a meeting in Bele, in St. Andrew, Bele Government School, and everybody, you were told that you had to go there. You had to go there, and when the Prime Minister came out, when he arrived, you had to stand up to ensure that. The same thing happened when we had cricket. Those persons working in the money, they were told that it's part of your attendance, you had to go to the cricket, and they were given free tickets. So that level of intimidation pervade our society in such a way that a large number of persons working feel intimidated by what is taking place. But Junior, even if we don't have to go in that, a next source of our intimidation, in that most of the various positions where these young persons get some level of employment, that you have to go to the constituency office. So you have to go to the political constituency office, where the member of parliament must rule, must decide whether you could be a caregiver rover, whether you could be an imani or something like that. Think about how persons even get what you might call a fortnight job. It's a political activity. There is no place. Ask anybody in Grenada, just call randomly and ask, okay, I want to get a job to get a fortnight. How do you get that fortnight on the road? A political activists call your house. There is no office where you can actually go and apply. So they have actually kidnapped all the legal institutions and bring it under the arm of the minister and in the political realm.
Aliyah Ross is saying that what you're saying about the money being manipulated to go to cricket is not true and it's not facts.
I stand by that. I stand by that. And I know I've been told several times, several Imanis had tickets and they were told they had to go. They had to go to the cricket when they had World Cup and when they have big matches here.
Okay.
And I wish some other person would confirm that.
Okay, guys, we're having this conversation here. We're talking about Grenada election. I want you guys to call in and let's continue this conversation. The number that you call is 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. We have, me personally, I push for, and I have been pushing to hear a debate. I think that it's very, very important to have a debate between the two parties. They have been pushed back. I've reached out personally. I've reached out to the Prime Minister press secretary and to get the Prime Minister's take on it. I didn't get any concrete answer as to if the Prime Minister will debate or what's his take on the debate. But for now, election just a couple of days ago, I don't think that it would happen. But we have been pushing, and I think that it is important that we have a debate. Let the NDC state their plans and let it be confronted with the plans of the incumbent. Similarly, it should be done, and people should know exactly where they stand and the information. Let it be confronted. So it's important. The next thing that I think is very important, guys, we could touch on is campaign financing. Campaign financing is a big topic, big animal. I want to talk about. Let's just take this call and then we jump back into the question of campaign financing. Caller, you live, where you calling us from?
Hi, good night, Junior. I'm calling you from Grenada.
Grenada, go right ahead.
I can tell you for a fact that I know I'm a registered farmer, and prior to there was a time in Grenada when the extension officer was responsible for the family bar program.
Right.
But now you have to get as a farmer to get family bar program, you have to go to the constituency office.
Mm-hmm.
For a fact, you have to go to so it has been taken away from the Ministry of Agriculture and brought to the constituency office, Junior. That is a fact because I'm that farmer and I have applied, and when I go to the extension office, they tell me I have to go to the constituency office. The minister is responsible for that. Thank you.
Right.
And if I may.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
On the whole issue of benefits, right?
Yeah.
And it's so funny. I said it before, Livingston, that politics in Grenada is same politics in Jamaica. There's absolutely no difference. The only difference is that we have a bigger population than Grenada. That's all it is.
Mm-hmm.
As it relates to benefits, right? Benefits in Jamaica, for example, the gentleman just spoke about jobs and we're not talking about private sector jobs, right? We're talking about government jobs. We're talking about benefits to farmers, benefits to persons within the agriculture sector and all of that, right? Now, these are not private sector stuff. These are stuff that is given to the people from the government.
Right.
It is the government that is providing the resources and providing the assistance, whether it's through farming or whatever it is. So let's not get it twisted. If it's a private sector issue, then fine. You go to your job and you go and you apply for a job and you do your interview and you get your job. If it is government issued, the elected representative must be the conduit for such benefit. Whether we like it is politics.
Mm-hmm.
There are 15 seats in parliament and the people voted for 15 representatives, and whatever benefit that comes from the overall government must come through those representatives. It happens here in Jamaica. If a constituency in the constituency that I live requires a benefit from the government, the most ideal person for he or she to go to is the member of parliament. That is their duty.
Yes.
So there shouldn't be any conversation about removing it from some other entity and put it where the political representative, that is his duty, is to ensure that the persons within that constituency gets the benefit that the government has to offer. No, there are persons who will politicize it and say, because we know that you support the NDC and I am an NNP, I won't give you the benefits. Can't be. I'll tell you, one of the things that we practice in Jamaica and in the constituency that I am affiliated with is we don't care who you vote for. What is important is that you are a voter. It doesn't matter who you vote for. You must contribute to the electoral process. If you want to benefit, you should contribute. You shouldn't be sitting at home saying, I don't like politics, I have nothing to do with politics, but tomorrow morning you want to benefit from politics. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
We believe that you should vote.
Right.
And even if you don't, we still can't hold it against you. But we would prefer if you are a voter.
Right.
Because the voters are the ones who put the MP there, and the MP forms part of the government.
Absolutely. Point taken. Let's jump to the phone lines. Caller on the phone line, go right ahead.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, caller. Good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to make a comment about campaign funding.
Yeah.
And I think we have to be able to distinguish the difference between monies that comes from the treasury and monies that is gotten by campaign donations and so on. Right. I want to make it clear that campaign donations, these come from people or well-wishers, people who have, reasons for supporting a party, want to support a party. They give money.
Yes. No, we understand that.
And they give these monies, and they can't tell a political party what to do with that money.
Yeah, so, but here's the problem. Stick up in the caller. Here's the problem. And there are campaign financing legislation in the US that states that a particular organization cannot donate more than X amount of money to a particular campaign. Because what happened is, who paid the piper called the tune, right? If a big political organization, a big somebody with deep pockets could basically finance a whole government, when he need favors and contract, he would get it because he have favors in the bag. So to regulate the question of campaign financing have to be a big issue. Where are those campaigns getting money from?
Right. I mean, you're absolutely right. But I do not believe that they have these types of regulations in Grenada, unfortunately. And the reason why I'm calling about that is that I made some comments. This is not today. I made some comments not too long ago. And there are well-meaning people that clearly did not understand, and they couldn't distinguish the difference between campaign funding and, monies from the treasury.
Right.
They were making comments like, the government don't have money to pay this and pay that, but they're using it for that, this and that.
Right.
So I wanted to make it clear, that these campaign funds are collected for the purpose of campaign.
No, we understand that.
And these parties,
the government is not using the money. The government is not using the money in the treasury to finance the campaign. That's completely understood. That is not happening.
Right. But the comment that I wanted to make is that I was really, really concerned about the optics at a time like now. Like I said, we just came out of a major pandemic. Our economy is really on a terrible downturn, not just Grenada, all over the world. People are struggling to put gasoline in their car. People, the unemployment rate is so high. We have issues in our health system. We have all kinds of issues. And to be paying over $500,000 to bring a foreign artist. And I have no problems with Jamaicans, Trinidadians. We're all one Caribbean people.
Right.
And that has never been my contention. My contention has been, these are monies that could be used to help people directly. So to me, it shows where people's priorities are and what's important to them. I also want to support an earlier caller. She talked about bringing people together and using artists, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you are to deliver a message, you want to make sure that the people are gathered together so that you can deliver the message.
Right.
So I just wanted to, make that comment that it's really the optics I have an issue with. And in a time like now, we need to make sure that every dollar, regardless of where it comes from, that it benefits the people of the country. That's my point.
Thank you, caller. We appreciate you so much. Thanks for calling. She made some valid points, and it's true. And I want to make it very clear that when Popcorn came, or Jamil came, and people said, "Oh, the government taking all this money to pay Popcorn." Listen, the government didn't take the money from the treasury and pay artists to come here, right? NNP is a political party. However, NNP were able to obtain the money, whether to give for whatever. That's how they were able to get the artists, whether it was sponsored, whatever it was, that's how they were able. So it's not the country paying those artists. That money then coming from the treasury, all right? So I saw someone made that statement also, and I had to say, no. The government is not taking that money and paying them. That is coming from the party's private funds. The question that we need to speak about is campaign financing. And I want to know how Jamaica deal with that. Campaign financing. Could anyone just give as much money as they want to or feel like to a particular campaign or political organization in Jamaica? How that work?
No, there are guidelines for campaign financing, and there are limits to what you can receive as a parliamentarian from any one company, but or one organization. But Julia, as strict and as formative as these laws are as it relates to campaign financing, there are always ways to circumvent them. If there's a limit that I can only receive as a parliamentarian or as a candidate, I can only receive $1 million from one individual,
right?
And that individual wants to give me $5 million. Then all he has to do is to set up what you and I are accustomed to in the United States, which is called PACs.
PACs, yes.
And,
PACs.
those, yeah.
Political Action Network. Yes.
Yeah. So we have different organizations that will raise funds on behalf of a candidate or the government or the party.
Right.
The party in Jamaica, the political parties have a larger threshold in collecting donations.
Right.
So what usually happens is the donor would go and donate to the party itself. I'll give you one typical example. The last election, and I'm happy that you have Rhoda Crawford there in Grenada. Rhoda's campaign would have brought in a significant amount of money for campaign financing. But the problem is when it was declared, because you have to declare the amount of money you spend in Jamaica. Every candidate has to fill that out. And listen, in Jamaica, it is serious business because there's a campaign financing committee and there's a commissioner of election.
Independent.
That start to oversee the whole process.
Right.
And if it is that you're not filing your return, as in your expenditure for elections, they're going to call you out. And it is going to be a court matter also. It is something that you can be hauled before the court if you don't declare the amount spent. But like I said, like every good system, there's ways to circumvent it, and what they have done is they've utilized the party, which has bigger reach to do the spending. So you'll hear that the party spend, for example, if you're running in a constituency in Jamaica, Junior, and you collect in excess of what the threshold is, you only have to say that you didn't spend any money, the party spent the money, and the argument done.
Right. There's always way around the system. There's always way around the system. Livingston, what's your understanding on the campaign financing in our politics in Grenada?
That one is a really tricky one. I will tell you something, and I would say it from two different angles. Now, if the government just before the election and every election starts 1 million projects, aren't they using taxpayers' money to influence votes? Is this campaign financing? If those projects for 4 years was not being dished out or rolled out, and 3 months before the election, your projects running out because there is not enough contractors, there are not enough builders, there are not enough cement work holding up every week because so much work is taking place at the same time. Construction activities. Isn't that really campaign financing? That's the first question. The fact that so many other persons are being hired, like we have a new batch of Imanis just a couple of months ago, they're now in training. Is this, you might say, influencing, but is it part of campaign financing? It comes from our taxpayers. So that is one way. I know, Choka, I realize you have a different viewpoint, but I'm asking the question. Secondly, it is a ticklish thing because as long as you don't have a limit on activities that you can do for election, just saying campaign financing and putting regulation to limit or to disclose who your sponsors are, I don't know if it serves the purpose. As long as you don't curtail on the activity, because people can give financing already, and there are so many different loopholes. So somebody could make 10 different contributions. So your example, like let us use Grenada. So you can give the NNP, let us say the limit is $1 million. So you can give a political party $1 million, but you could give the constituency of say St. John an X $1 million. I mean, would the act or legislation cover those contributions made also to constituencies or maybe to a project you decide you want to fund in that constituency? So to me, the comprehensiveness in order to stop that campaign financing is really, really a difficult one to hold. But on the other hand, the reality says that whosoever pays more would have influence. They actually buying influence. I mean, you cannot tell me that a company give you $10 million, and at the end of the day, when you win and you go into office, that company exert no influence on what happens in terms of contract, maybe in the future for special land or special assignment, etc. So what it has is danger. How do you nip it in the bud? I really cannot say. I can't conceptualize legislation that would be all-inclusive.
Well, there are precedents to legislation. It's not something that you have to reinvent the wheel.
Well, I know in England they have a cap on certain activities that you cannot.
Right. In the US too. It's big. It's serious business. Hold on, guys. I have a caller on this line like forever. Let me just take that call. Caller, you're live. Sorry, we had you waiting for a long time. Where are you calling us from?
Yes, brother Junior. I'm speaking from Brooklyn, New York, sir.
Brooklyn, New York. Go right ahead.
Yes, where people got freedom of speech. You hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
Right. And let me go back to this thing about people being mandated to go to different functions. The time when Oliver Joseph was sworn in St. David's, I look at the whole thing on TV or what, and I saw school children getting off on buses with uniform on, Junior, during school time. How we call that? Can you answer that?
How do you call that?
Well, anyway, I'm telling you that these children were mandated to go to the thing with Oliver, whatever your name is, Oliver Joseph or whatever. I tell you, they say, I saw it. I even forwarded it to many people also. You see? So that's issue. And this gentleman, is he from Jamaica? He live in Grenada, or he's a member of the government? Can you tell me? I want to know, please. I came on the program kind of late.
Okay, this friend of mine here, he's very close with the Jamaica Labour Party in Jamaica, of course, which is closely affiliated and aligned with the NNP and also the left-wing parties like the Republican Party of the United States, St. Vincent and the Grenadians, Rav Gonzalez leading political party. So his political alignment is more so with the NNP than with the NDC. he is in what we would say in New York, he would be a Republican.
No, I thought so,
yes.
But I didn't want to point. I didn't want to say direct because the thing he's saying, he's more speaking directly for Keith Mitchell and not the people of Grenada, and jotting in little Jamaica in between, because he know well that what Keith Mitchell practicing in Grenada, whatever party in power right now in Jamaica cannot practice that. He knows that. He knows that. But anyway, I'm going to go back and continue listening.
Oh, thank you.
You speaking to me, sir?
He's going to respond. He's willing to respond to you right now.
Oh, well, go ahead, sir, and I'll come back on after.
Give me one or two other practices that is practiced by Keith Mitchell, and I'll tell you whether or not it is done in Jamaica.
No, it isn't. It isn't, because the system of politics in Grenada is worse in the Caribbean right now, sir. It's worse in the Caribbean, and you know that well, sir. It is worse. Everybody is scared in Grenada. Even the guy that walking on the road is scared. People getting seat. Look, there's a blind man, they call Mr. Rolo. About 5 years ago, they took him off the seat program, and they said that his situation become better. And the only reason why is because you call Judge Grant program and talk against the government. But they were glad to put him back on. Imagine that, sir. So that's one of the things.
Yeah, but
and there are many people who making children and getting $150 a month for the school to go to school and not even go to school, sir. And that is for votes.
Happens in Jamaica.
What?
Happens in Jamaica.
And hold on, let me correct myself. I said left wing is right wing. Sorry.
Let's not go back and forth.
Right wing.
But I am totally sick to have you on this program and so forth. But again, it's freedom of speech, so you are free to say what you want. But I know for sure, I live in Brooklyn, New York, and I know for sure that the intimidation that going on in Grenada, well, when you say Grenada, we mean Carriacou and Petit Martinique also. One lady in Petit Martinique happened to, and because she talked to somebody the night of the campaign there or something like that, months ago, she was given something, they took it back.
Okay, Colin, we're losing your connection a bit. We didn't hear the last thing that you said.
Okay, but anyway, I'm going to go back and listen to this man, but he's really getting me sick, to be honest.
Okay, thank you, caller.
You really getting me sick, but I'll go back and listen, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Chris, you are getting people sick. Chris, don't respond yet. You're getting people sick, Chris.
The good thing is, Junior.
Yeah.
I don't hide my political affiliation.
Right.
I don't hide it because there's no reason to.
Right.
But what I will not do is to be dishonest in my opinion.
Right.
Because what the caller is saying, the caller is making it seem as though Grenada is worse than Jamaica. And my position is, it's not. The politics in Grenada is the same thing in Jamaica. A matter of fact, it could be even worse.
One thing about Jamaican politics, I remember years ago, boy. Listen, I wouldn't want to be close anyway to Jamaica in any election.
We have come a far way.
Yeah.
We have come a far way.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that 1980 election in Jamaica was I can tell you this. Jamaica cannot cite any major or even minor incident of political, let me not say political victimization, because that happens everywhere you go, but political violence. It doesn't exist in Jamaica. It's very rarely. Nobody is seen as unable to travel into areas because you support one political party as opposed to the other. It doesn't happen in Jamaica anymore. But in 1980, we had what you would consider a war in Jamaica for politics. So Jamaican politics has matured. And I think Grenada, I don't know what the level of violence in Grenada is now. Yes. I don't know if there's violence in Grenadian politics. No, I can't speak to it because I haven't heard any major.
They're not violent.
Intimidation.
Yeah, Grenadian is just
But Junior.
Yeah, go ahead.
Except if you're taking a caller, I just you
Yeah,
want
go
me to
ahead,
go ahead
Denison.
now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think when I joined the program, Chris mentioned something that I think I need to have an opinion of, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you mentioned about this, I don't know if the name is the DLP or whatsoever. Those various blocks, the Republican and the Democrats, seem to have the tentacles spread through the region, and some of the political parties are aligned to that.
Yes, and we spoke about it at the beginning.
Yeah, and I didn't get my 2 cents in.
Right.
I really want to get my 2 cents in that I believe it is the hallmark of colonialism that is really keeping us in check. And that doesn't ag as well. It doesn't help Caribbean politics. For a matter of fact, if anything else, that very association with the Republican parties and the various parties is what having us enslaved and having us more colonized than anything else. Because they help fund the various parties that they believe that they're associated with. They help fund them. They make sure that they maintain a certain political ideology, which has nothing to do with the upliftment of Caribbean people. And as long as we don't break that chain, as the same thing are happening in Africa with ECOWAS and some of the Francophone countries, they try to make sure that we follow certain things based on our colonial masters' past. This thing is really some of the tentacles that extend from slavery that is keeping us in check. So Jamaica has to toe a certain line because that political leader or Kit Michel must toe a certain line. And so all our assets, the whole idea that we cannot embrace a development that says I must work together with St. Vincent or St. Lucia. We can't do that because we are aligned to these political parties, and that is a dangerous and defeating kind of ideology. So I totally condemn that kind of association with some of the colonial powers as they want to maintain hegemonic powers over us in the Caribbean. I just want to say that, Chris. I know you had a different viewpoint, and I wanted to go.
Hold on, Chopper. Before okay, so let me just jump to the call real quick, Chopper. Don't forget your trend of thought. We got a caller on the phone. No, hold on. We got 2 callers. Hold on 1 second. Okay, caller on the phone lines. Go right ahead. Caller, go right ahead.
Hey, Junior.
Hey.
You hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Junior.
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go ahead.
You hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you. Go right ahead, caller.
Okay, let me tell you one thing. The Ram Gonzalez party is a left-wing party. The Jamaica Labour Party is a right-wing party. So they're in 2 different organizations.
Right.
In connection with the campaign financing and the use of government money in Grenada for campaigns, I have been told by many people, and in fact, one contractor told me that if you get a job now with the government in Grenada, the project might cost $10,000, but they're writing up the project proposal for $20,000, and the $10,000 they kick back to the party for their political work. So the party is actually using government's money for their political campaign by doing all these projects, and a portion of this money for the project kicked back to the party. A typical example is that activity in Fiji Market, the $328,000 billboard in Fiji Market. That they wrote a requisition for $328,000 for billboard in Fiji Market. And when Tim Jones and them start questioning it, they pull it back. So that shows you that there is some corruption going on in the money that is being dispensed now all these road projects.
I think we lost that caller. I think we lost that caller. Let's see who else we have. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Hello?
Yeah, sorry. Hi. Yeah, go ahead, caller.
Junior?
Yes.
Yeah.
Turn your background down. Turn your background down. It's giving us a
So
feedback.
If
you have me on speaker, take me off a speaker.
Turn on the TV, Frank. Hold on.
Yeah. Turn on the TV.
Yeah.
Guys, you're watching Right Along Live, and we're a little bit over time. We are going to go up until 8 o'clock, so we're going to cut it off. Caller, go right ahead. Hello?
Yeah. So I don't know much about the politics. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know much about I don't know much about the politics and the stuff about right wing, left wing kind of thing. But what I want to say is that there is political victimization in Grenada. There is a lot of political victimization in Grenada. Now, there's a lot of what the government do is that it's a large majority of people on contract, right? In different places, like in the abattoirs, in government ministries and stuff like that. And they give political activists these contracts. So these political activists with the ministers, they pick people to come to these work, go to these work. So when election comes around, you will find everybody in under the government, under the, like for instance in the abattoir, all of them are NNP. Why all of them are NNP? Because they were handpicked, and you will find now people now they are not voting for party, they are voting to keep their job. So that is a political victimization, and then you find people getting certain people but get certain contracts and stuff in Grenada. The thing about Grenada is that unlike Jamaica, where riots and things will Grenadian people are kind of peaceable people, and they don't speak. They will take all the political victimization. They will talk about it in rum shops and stuff like that. Somebody to go on the street and protest about it, you as that individual will get more political victimization. So you just as well to shut your mouth. Look at Deacon Mitchell right now. He is bringing up a lot of topics and discussion that the present government is not having, right? And everybody is saying that they spy in the sky because we are accustomed to a certain way of life that we are accepting anything that these people and them give us. And the fact about it is not because nobody is not killing anybody here and nobody is not doing any sort of wrong things or stuff like that. But there is a lot of political victimization in Grenada and a lot of this silent. So I believe that the administration has not been fulfilling a lot of things. Keith Mitchell is using the platform of politics to run his game with a set of fake promises, lies. Look at the thing about oil and gas and stuff like that. It's a set of lies and a lot of things. The shrimp farm bubble. The farm in Victoria with the chicken farm bubble and all these kind of things, and then these are the political victimization that Grenada is facing right now. And if we don't stop it, Grenada bottom the drain. We don't know the current figure of our national debt. Is he telling us anything about that? That's why Grenadians have to stand up and fight right. That's why Grenada, so there is political victimization, and I will not side with anybody that will say tonight that there is not victimization in Grenada, but just that the Grenadian people, I don't know if it's stupid, I don't know what about it, but everybody is just so quiet, because if you come out in the open and talk about it, you are branded political victimization again. You will lose your job, right? You wouldn't be able to feed your children. You wouldn't be able to do certain things. So that's my contribution for tonight.
Thank you, caller. All right.
I really would like to hear Chopa.
Yeah. Thank you, caller. All right. Yes. Guys, political victimization all over. What you think?
It's nothing new. And again, I will make the comparison because it does happen in Jamaica where people feel that they are victimized based on their political affiliation. But you see, you have to go back to one thing. There's 50 seats in Parliament in Grenada, and the NNP won all 50 seats. Now, I will ask anybody that if it is so bad, as long as the election were not stolen, persons weren't locked up. The opposition was locked away, like in 1976 in Jamaica, when the opposition was locked away and the election was called, right? As long as you don't have that sort of stuff, then it means that the people would have spoken. The people would have spoken, and we have to respect the will of the people. I mean, we don't get a lot of stuff from the colonial folks that is tangible, but there's one thing that we have gotten, which we have utilized so far, and that is the political system. Livingston, you and I are on the same page. Funny enough, we are on the same page, because as much as you believe that this so-called geopolitical connection is not benefiting the Caribbean, I believe that too, 100%. The only thing I've said to Junior before we've had this discussion is that it is something that we must recognize, because it is there. It has no use in Caribbean politics. It has never been utilized to benefit us. It started out back in the 1940s, matter of fact. But it came prominent during the Cold War era, when the Russians, and I think there was a conference in Geneva or somewhere there, where that pact was formed. One was formed first, and then the other one came after, the two affiliates. But it has never benefited Jamaica. As a matter of fact, I spoke out against it, because the Jamaica Labour Party in Jamaica is supposed to be affiliated with the Republican. But if you look at the policies that are being pursued by the Jamaican Labour, it is closer to the Democratic Party. And I've questioned it all the time. I said, why are we saying, as a matter of fact, that came to being during the Trump administration. When I refused to be identified as a Republican, because that was so devastating that I said, why is it that my political party don't just come out and Trump? Because the policies pursued by the Jamaica Labour Party in Jamaica is closer to the Democrat than it is to the Republican. We're a conservative movement. We were founded on conservatism back by Sir Alexander Bustamante. But the truth is, the policies pursued over the years is closer to the Democrat than it is to the Republican. As a matter of fact, what has separated us mainly now is our religious conservative belief. And I think that is what is the sticking point between us and the Democrats. But having that influence on the Caribbean on a whole has never benefited us. It is always to the benefit of our past oppressors. I'm hoping that very soon you'll have a program to discuss the candidature of our Foreign Affairs Minister, who is about to assume responsibility for the Commonwealth Group of Company. The Commonwealth Group of Countries.
Yes.
That's a huge deal in geopolitics again. It is positioning countries like Jamaica, Grenada, Trinidad, Barbados, St. Lucia, and all the other countries. It is positioning us where we are now at the seat, have a good seat at the table. And Jamaica has a candidate in the form of our Foreign Minister, Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, who is going up for that position, which is slated for June 15 in Uganda. And that is going to be an interesting one. I think you should watch it, because
we're gonna keep our thumbs on the pulse of that. I have to take a call, but you know what is strange? We want to have this discussion where we could have a fruitful engagement, and we had to go to Jamaica to find an affiliate of the NNP to find somebody to defend the. That's crazy. Call you live. Where you calling us from? Hello.
Hey, Julia.
Hey.
I'm from New York again.
Who
that guy you have there, the GMP guy. The Jamaican Labour Party has been known for a party of dirty politics. And they have gone through the whole Caribbean teaching these conservative parties how to do political tricks and dirty politics.
Right.
So he's not new to the dirty politics that the GMP practice. They did a lot against Michael Manley. They're a party of dirty politics. They're like the Republicans. That's why
they are Republicans. They are he is a Republican. They are Republicans. They are the right-wing parties. Republican.
And also, Keith Mitchell
Well, no, we already established that. We already established. Carla, we already established that.
That's corruption and dirty politics. That's what Jamaica Labour Party is all about. Dirty politics.
But Carla, let us slow it down for a minute. Give me one example of dirty politics that you know about Jamaica Labour Party. One example, just one.
When Michael Manley was in office, did not the Jamaica Labour Party together with the CIA follow weapons in the Jamaica to try to overthrow the Manley government?
No, sir. No, that's not
Answer
true.
that question.
That's not true.
That is true. The CIA admit that it's true. The CIA admit that was true.
The CIA cannot admit all
She
of
almost started the whole cabal. She almost started the whole cabal. Don't tell me it's not true.
Okay, Carla, drink some water. Let him respond.
Hold on. Listen to this part, guys. Remember you spoke about dirty politics, right?
Uh-huh.
You spoke about dirty politics. Let me give you an example of what I would consider dirty politics, and tell me if I'm wrong. In 1976, I'm sorry that was you know we have to bring it to the Jamaica level. But in 1976, when Michael Manley was the Prime Minister of Jamaica, and an election was looming, he arrested all the opposition, which was the Jamaica Labour Party then. Arrested, locked them up in jail, put them on the handcuff, lock them up in jail, and run the election. Would you consider that dirty politics?
They were spreading guns. They were spreading guns. They were burning legal guns to the Jamaica.
That is a hallmark of dirty politics. Anywhere you go in the world.
They were burning legal guns to Jamaica. Manley.
Eh?
Carla?
Sorry?
They was bringing illegal guns in Jamaica.
No.
Carla, don't scream. Don't scream.
Both sides of the political divide.
Right.
Hold on. But Carla, listen to this. Both sides, both the PNP in Jamaica and the JLP in Jamaica, both sides were accusing each other of bringing in guns. And there were evidence presented on both sides. Now, if you were to look at hold on, Carla. Let's forget about the CIA. The CIA have no friends. First of all, the CIA have no friends. They're not friends with the JLP. They're not friends with the PNP. They have what is called interest. And whatever suits the interest at the time, that's what they do.
I agree.
Remember what role the CIA played.
Hold on. Let's hold on. Let's check up a little bit. Hold on. Let's just all right. Let's get back.
Let's ventilate this issue a little bit because I love it. It's a good segment.
A whole right along all by itself there. The collusion with CIA and CIA not being friends to anybody.
Nobody.
That's a whole right along.
Let us first establish that as a fact. CIA have no friends. They have interest. Now, in Grenada, it could have been said that the CIA was involved too, right? But we're not going to go back there. We're going to stick to what happened in the 1970s and what you consider to be dirty politics. So that's what you're saying, and I'm defending the fact that I would not attribute dirty politics to only one side. Let's say there were dirty politics. Let's say there were tricks in trade. Because while you had the CIA supporting the removal of Michael Manley, that's what you're saying, you had the Russian, the USSR, who was supporting the expansion of the Russian agenda throughout the Caribbean. You know what is so funny? Grenada, as small as it is, was an integral part. The Russian was building an airstrip in your backyard. And the US said, we're not having it.
It was Cuba.
It was the Cubans.
Forget about Cuba. Cuba did nothing on a Cuban agenda back in the 1970s. Everything that Cuba did during the 1970s and 80s was done to aid the Russian agenda.
No.
Put that in the pipe.
Okay, guys, hold on. We talking. We run off the train. The train just ran off the track. The train just ran off the track. Hold on. I don't want to go too far away from the topic, guys, because this is a nerve right here. That you see that man right there, Livingston Nelson. He's a story. Livingston, I want you to touch on it and let's move on because I don't want to fall. Tracks.
The whole demise of the revolution was split between what they perceived to be support for Cuba or support for Russia. So there was a big divide. The Soviet Union was not in agreement with the so-called line that Maurice Bishop was taking. For matter of fact, the Code faction wanted the expansion and was looking for arms. When they sent that arms, Cuba refused to send the upgraded arms because the Code faction wanted those arms and Cuba was against it, saying that you would antagonize America. While the Code faction got the arms, when it reached in Cuba, it stayed in Cuba. There was a whole divide. Cuba went out on a limb for the Grenada Revolution at the airport. The Soviet Union wanted the influence, and so they were buying the influence through the Bonnet Code faction. So there was a divide. We don't have to go through that, but we could continue.
Yeah, a whole lot of ride along. Let's get back on track, guys. You're watching Ride Along Live. Let's jump to a phone. Let's just take a call. It's about time we take a call. Caller, you live. Hello?
Junior, let me say one thing before you leave.
Yeah.
They are NPU. NPU political tigers was trained by the JLP guys. The JLP sent people to Grenada.
That's true.
Shenanigans, trickery, and corruption. That's a fact.
Okay. All right, caller. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. We love your input. Guys watching Right Along Live, and we're having this discussion here. I know we went through a lot of things. We dealt with the elephant in the room. There's a bigger elephant in the room that we need to talk about. I say we're going to finish. Oh, Lord, we have about 4 minutes. Lord, I don't think we'll be able to finish this today. It's not going to happen. But you see why, guys, you see why we need to have discussions. You see why it's important that we have conversations. And people somehow, they don't like when we have this kind of conversations. People preempt this thing, and like if it's a bad thing, it's not. You got a call on the line. Call your live. Where are you calling us from?
It's not, man. You need to have these discussions.
Yeah, call your live. Where are you calling us from?
I'm calling from Grenada.
Go ahead, caller from Grenada.
All right. Well, I've been listening to you gentlemen, and there's something that I realize a lot of people, I don't know if we miss it or we don't pay attention.
Yeah.
Now, every couple of years, there's an election in Grenada. Most times you get the same political party winning. Once in a while, you get a change. But no matter opposition, be it NNP, NDC, or whoever else might exist, things in Grenada really don't change, especially for the better. And this is what I mean. No matter who the government is in Grenada, it's the business sector that really controls Grenada. The business sector and the banking sector, which is a very, very minute amount of wealthy folk here in Grenada. But for some reason, because of the people you have in charge of this country, it seems that there is no expansion of business by local people here. Like there's a stranglehold on Grenadians being able to do business in Grenada. You seem to have a great influx of Syrians, Indians, and Middle Easterns who bringing a lot of counterfeit and low quality goods and sell to your people at a rather high price, which I consider Grenadians could do the same thing, especially in the era where we live in now, where you can order most of these fraudulent goods that are being sold by foreigners in your country. You can order it yourself and bring it in. Another point that we have a problem with in Grenada, and the gentleman from Jamaica touched on this, I don't know how much people caught it, but Grenada is part of something called the CARICOM Trade Agreement. The problem with that is Grenada has nothing to trade. So you actually part of an agreement which has you buying everything from Caribbean islands, including items that you are making here. A quick example, I have a friend who makes peanuts in Laborie. his peanuts is being sold in many little small shops around Grenada. A small pack of his peanuts costs $2. A small pack of peanuts from Sunshine Snacks from Trinidad, Jamaica, and one of these other people who we're in these agreements with costs $1.50. These are hard times. So if you really wanted to buy a pack of peanuts, most likely you're going to go for the $1.50. Grenada is making Coca-Cola, grape Fanta, orange Fanta, Sprite, plus you make sweet drink. There's no need for you to really to be importing Buster from Trinidad, because all you're doing when you import the Buster from Trinidad is causing a level of competition in your country among your own people. There are too many things that this country used to produce that it seems that with the help of Grenada's business sector has just disappeared. You used to make plastic bags. Now you can't even have plastic bags in the supermarket no more. Where has that company gone? Disappeared. You made soap. Where has that company gone? Disappeared. You had a very good agro-industry at a point in time. It disappeared. Even the so-called tourism economy of Grenada is a fraud. Because if you ever got the paper of the amount of cruise ships that comes to this island, it's spaced out on paper. But if you did simple math and count each boat as day after day after day, you'd quickly realize Grenada has a tourist boat economy that probably lasts about 3.5 months. But tourism is supposed to be your main thing. We're steadily doing that house Negro syndrome of training our young people to work in hotels to fold bed sheets and serve what I would like to say, I'm sad to say, but old white people. Because Grenada only seems to be marketing pure Grenada to old European folks. Any black people you see in Grenada during Carnival and Christmas, they come from the Caribbean, they come from Grenada. They used to live here, or their kids off, or family off. I used to be in New York up to 2020. Every time you're on the subway in New York, come to Barbados, come to Jamaica, come to Trinidad. The only time I've ever seen Grenada's name on a subway in New York is when SGU is recruiting for students. There is no interest to market our place to the African American who is black just like us and looks just like us. But that
and there's a
colonial
market there.
mentality has us thinking that we should never take money from our own black people, always from the white man. Serve him, bring in the old folks to come in. Until these things change in Grenada, no NDC, no NNP is going to do anything different. Nothing is going to change because it's going to be the same problem. NDC coming tomorrow, you're still going to be importing way too much things compared to what you have to export.
Right.
So your bill with the outside world is not going anywhere. The NNP stays, it's going to be the same. They talk tourism in Grenada. Grenada has one of the most expensive ports to dock on in the Caribbean, and I know that firsthand because I had an intricate part in playing in getting that 99-year lease signed for Dublin, Grenada, because Grenada don't even own the port. You have a lot of pretty things in Grenada, but Grenada doesn't own it because everything here is for sale. And it's not just for sale by the government, because the government comes and goes. These people change all the time. I remember Tillman, I remember H.A. Blaze, I remember Gary, I remember all these guys. But what is always consistent is that business community and that upper class in Grenada, which is really strangling Grenadians to the level that there's no opportunity for young people here. I mean to poke no fun, but rich people children don't sing soca. Rich people children in Grenada don't seem to be very good at sports. Where are all these activities for kids to be going away and getting opportunities? Grenada is still part of the Commonwealth, has ties to England. You mean to tell me we can't get no scouts coming from all these different English premier and secondary premier teams to take a look at a couple Grenadians? There's no spice, none of these things whatsoever. Who's really stopping all of that?
Okay, caller.
Nobody's stopping all of these things. And I don't think it's just the government. The government does do a lot of nonsense in Grenada because Grenada infrastructure is deplorable.
Right.
3 drop of rain in St. George's, Kentucky chicken swimming out the front door. That's on the government. The education level and the opportunities for young people in Grenada,
Right.
deplorable.
All right, caller.
On the government.
Thank you so much for your input.
There
All
are
right.
certain things do I hear people complaining about that I don't think your government is responsible.
Yes.
Your day-to-day ability to be able to make $1 when you finish your educational process and you become an adult, that has a lot to do on you as an adult and how well you did in school. So we can't blame the government fully because there are people from back in the older eras who didn't have the opportunity for the level of education that we know. How far they came.
Caller, we have to respond. Caller, we have to respond. Caller, we have to respond and also wrap up the show. So,
business sector of Grenada, somebody has to put these people in check. The banking system in Grenada, the way they handle people. You're dealing with tourists, but you come as a Grenadian who made a US dollar.
Caller, all right, caller, I don't mean to disrespect. Hello, are you able to hear me?
And the third, when in reality,
caller, hello, caller, hello.
Old, rump, legal tender currency.
I want opportunity for us to respond, but the caller is just not stopping. Caller, hello.
They're all part of the system.
Hello.
And they get rid of the old currency and they bring it in.
Okay, all right, caller, hello. All right, sorry about that. We have to. I understand he made a very, very valid point, still making a point, but we cannot filibuster the program. Yes, yeah, he made great points, and I want him to continue, but we have to move on, and we can't filibuster the program. Let me hold on 1 second. Listen this.
You won't be able to do that much.
Junior,
yes.
Just one thing. I believe there were eras in Grenada history, so we don't have to go far, where this on the political leaders has injected new ideas. And I want to start with Gary. When he came, there was a whole new idea, a whole new revolutionary behavior that took place. So to say that it doesn't, irrespective of what government, it doesn't make a difference, I don't accept that. I mean, it means that we have to raise up our hands and say, we have no influence into our course of history. We were slave one time.
Yeah.
And say, and at one time we fought against that and we got out of that. When the revolution came and there was a new discourse, a new kind of dispensation.
Right.
Different things happen. And I am hearing a new song, a new era with Dickon and the plans for Grenada. And in respect, the way you campaign actually set the tone for what would happen in government. I don't believe they would achieve everything, but it sets the direction. And so I don't believe that irrespective of what these things happen. One other point you're making about, you blame the government. Listen, we have almost an estate in Grenada. The government has to be more on top of doing a lot of the things. You can't expect a private sector man to want to plan a 28 development plan, and that is when things would materialize. Too often we buy into this whole Western ideology about capitalism and it's up to you, the individual, and the government has to create the enabling environment for people to come and invest. The government has to create the environment for the government to invest.
Thank you. Listen,
Chris, hold on, Chris. I find it surprising you agreeing with me when you are Trumpite. When you are Trumpite.
No, I'm not a Trumpite. No, not at all. I agree with you, Lord Livingston. It's a very important point to touch because the party I support, the ideology that they're supposed to be aligned to is the capitalist thinking, where you create the environment and private sector grow the economy. Not so. Private sector not growing the economy. No. Private sector growing their pocket.
Yeah, true.
Jamaica, a matter of fact, has been boasting about having a private sector-led growth economy. Nonsense. Even the party that I support, I disagree with it because it is not true. Yeah, if you were to look at how growth is achieved in Jamaica right now, it is government that is leading the charge. Government is leading the charge. I think we're saying these things because it is the politically correct thing to say.
Yes.
We were manipulated to accept that kind of ideology. all the so-called the dragons.
We don't practice it in Jamaica
because Singapore-led development, the development in China, the development plan in Japan, all those countries that emerge from a holistic plan from the government, not from private sector.
It has to be because private sector don't grow no economy.
No,
I'm
they don't.
telling you, Jamaica is a typical example. Singapore, Livingston is a typical example of where government lead the charge and the economy grow. China, it took 42 years for China to change from being the poorest country in that block, in the Asian block.
Asian, yeah.
42 years and they are now number one, right? Yeah. They didn't do it because they allow private sector to come in here and milk the resources. No, they did it because they have a controlled economy, controlled and led by the government. Whether we like it or not, private sector plays a good role. You know, when Bustamante formed the Jamaica Labour Party, coming out of the trade union movement in Jamaica, what he wanted, was a synergy between capital and labor. That's what he wanted. That was his thinking. Not to allow unbridled capitalism to run amok. No. So, Livingston, you and I are on the same page. And it is so funny that
that's good.
NNP and NSC are on the same page. Yeah. It's the best thing. It's the best thing. Guys, we had tons of other things to talk about. We're way over time. I think we might have to schedule another program before election so we could really continue this conversation.
And that time I can come in defense of the NNP.
Yeah, and you see, Chopa, tell everyone over on your side that we are happy to have local NNP representative defend, and I don't have to go to Jamaica to get one. We would love to have someone here. So make a call, Chopa.
I'm going to make a call, and I hope they'll send me my NNP shirt. And all that stuff and fill me with all the information so I can come back here and defend the NNP.
Exactly.
As one 15 of 15.
But you sound so enlightened just now. You sound so enlightened just now. You sure you want to put on that t-shirt? After 10 years, you're not even going in that debate.
But who's refusing the debate?
Your party.
Your party. The NNP probably saying, look, man, what is here to debate about? I mean, come on, man. It's 15 or 15. Come on. Try to concentrate on winning one seat, no? Just win one seat. Amalgamate your resources and all of that and put it in one seat. And try to win one seat. And then you can go forward. But 15 or 15, that's a whooping.
That's a whooping.
I'm glad you would have no more callers now. I'm glad you would get no more callers.
No, we don't know that. Guys, we have to wrap up. This was a great conversation. And you see, the thing about it is, people don't like to address the elephant in the room. And I like engagement. I like conversation. Hence the reason why I was telling you guys, I was down in St. John's the other day and I made a wrong turn. I was going the wrong direction and I stumbled upon this young lady. I was like, how do I get to St. George's? And she was telling me, and she said then she started telling me all the different things about myself. And I just love that engagement with that young lady and her family. Because if we don't engage, we develop this kind of hatred, that kind of internal fire against someone, and you never even engage the person. You don't even know. You just hate them because you perceive them to be a certain way. And I think we in this day and time and era in our life, we're supposed to be, as a people, we have so much methods and means of communicating, but we communicate so much less, and it becomes problematic. So in order for we to get over the hurdles and deal with the elephant in the room, we have to conversate. We have to laugh. We have to come together, right? And hopefully we want to see this. We want to see this after this election. I know we're gonna come together, but for now, I'm seeing a lot of this animosity building and people calling people names and people calling each other dons and stupid and all of this kind of crap. And I just don't like it. Because whenever there is a situation happening in Grenada, no one from the diaspora says, okay, we're going to help, but we want to make sure that you are only at NNP or NDC. We just help. We just help. It doesn't matter. One Grenada, right? And we have to come back to that point and understanding that we need to stop the nonsense. And I did a whole vlog on it. Stop the nonsense. And it's pure nonsense. It's pure nonsense. And we need to get past that. We are family. We are friends. We are one little rock. Small place, 100,000 people. That's what it is. That's what it is.
That's one constituent in Jamaica. It's one Grenada.
Yeah, of course.
And I support that, Carl Jr. I support the whole oneness, and it's not necessary. I mean, I'm not privy to the underlink and the condition in terms of violence in the politics there. But from what I'm seeing on the outside, it's fairly minimal. Same thing here in Jamaica, and I think it needs to remain the same. I had to speak at a couple of local government initiatives recently. And one of the things I try to say to persons that we have to tone it down. I think we have passed that threshold of political fighting. I think we have to tone it down and recognize that there's talent in the room on both sides.
Yes.
That there are opportunities in the room from both sides. How do we get them together? You know, when Edward Seaga won in 1983 a snap election, which the PNP did not participate, he had to name a Senate. Right? So he had to name people, independent senators, because he still feels like it was important for the government to be held to account. And the Michelle administration now, even though they are boasting 15 or 15, they must be held to account. They must be able to say to the people of Grenada, what is it that I have done and what is it that I will continue to do? These things must be made public to the people. And whether it's by way of I personally believe that there should be a public debate to discuss these issues and to talk about it, because that's how you're held accountable. If you don't do that, then you're going to allow people to form your own opinion of you, and that is not good.
Yeah. Let me just say before we get Livingston respond, this program is brought you partially brought you with the kind compliments of the Miss Caribbean USA Summer Body Pageant that goes down on the 26th of June. It's a massive show. We have artists Alma Boy, we have Mr. Killer, Dennis Belfont, Mr. Legs, Keisha Martin, and there are so many females, beautiful females, that's going to be vying for the title of the Miss Caribbean USA Summer Body. We have Grenada, we have Jamaica. Well, you know, Grenada would be Jamaica. Trinidad.
You wish.
We also have just going down at the American Legion Hall that's located at 1130 East 92nd Street, Brooklyn, New York. Again, is the third annual Miss Caribbean USA Summer Body Pageant, and that goes down on Sunday, June 26th, right there in Brooklyn. All right. So final word is yours, Mr. Livingston Nelson. What says you?
I just want to say, I want to start by, I have two main points to make this evening. One, it was really interesting having that discussion with Chris. I know some callers got some problem with him, but I thought he was really balanced in his discourse. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I thought he was really, really balanced, and he was straight up with his presentation. I don't know what was the main problem, but with some of the callers, I thought he really tried. He speak his mind, and that is what you need in a discussion like that. I thought he tried to give Jackie, his jacket,
Yeah.
So I thought he really came on good. I didn't have a problem with him, and in the end, we are good. We are good. We just have our different viewpoints.
So this engagement taught us, right, guys, and everybody listening, we have more in common than we have difference.
Absolutely.
And I want to reiterate that even more with my second point, because yesterday I went to the rally in St. John, and I was going towards the western route. And on the other side, you had people came out. I was in my private vehicle, so just two of us, and I saw a next group, just vehicles and vehicles in people with a green, and I would blow because I had a yellow flag on and they had a green, and they would wave. Some people that knew me, call me by my name. Some people I knew, I wait for them. I keep on blowing, and they were responding. And I thought, you know, boy, irrespective of what we may think, Grenada is still such a beautiful place that I am going on my merry way, and I want to dethrone these people. Mind you, my aim is to dethrone these people, and these people want to maintain the status quo, want to maintain the hold on power. Yet we were able to smile and laugh with each other. So I'm just saying, this is the last thing. This is an example. This is something I hope in the next 20 years, if I happen to have grand, that my grand would experience, you know, with other grandchildren from other persons. And if they are different, that we all still can see, boy, let us do that in a civilized way. Hopefully what I'm seeing is a maturity in our politics. Hopefully that is what, and it's happening on the ground level. I'm just hoping how it could be at a next level where we can have a discussion and we can have town hall and we could, you know, and everybody at the end of the day, you know, we can just continue living together as one people. So,
I think a lot of the supporters are acting more mature than some of the those up in the political hierarchy. We see a lot of maturity. I mean, I'm meeting people every day, and you know, they are telling me about their political affiliation and stuff like that. And we're having debate conversation between two people, and they're laughing about it and they're having fun about it. And we have at the top, we have name calling in some aspects. That needs to stop, because you know it's disturbing when, because a lot of other people take cues from the top, and they have to keep that in mind as well. So we have to be very conscious about that when we talk.
And Junior, finally, this one is on you. I've been on several of your programs, and I believe you always make an effort. I don't know if you have a political affiliation, but you always make an effort to be open and to allow that level of discourse. And I want to publicly applaud you for that, because I think we always need that. You know, I mean, of course, no matter what you do, you are going to get fires from somebody one way or the other. That come with the territory with what you are doing. But I want to encourage you to keep up the work and to broaden the debate as much as possible to all and sundry, to make sure that we can discuss what is so important to all of us. So thank you for having me, and thank you for holding the fort and keeping up the program and making sure that you be as professional as you can in your field of endeavor.
Thank you. That really means a lot, because and this platform here pride itself on that. We pride ourselves on being open. The very first program that we did, guys, we coined the phrase or the saying, everyone have a story to tell. And that's something that I live by. It's not just a phrase, because my dad died. And when my dad died, his final words was, let people continue to tell their stories. So this is deep for me. And whenever I hear it, and people to the contrary, it really affects me in a negative way, because that was never my plan initially. My idea, the plan of the platform, is to encourage discussion, people sharing their stories, no matter what their affiliations are. It doesn't matter. Open the platform and let people discuss. And that is what I live by every day. And as I told someone the other day, they said, well, what if a political party wanted to buy you out or give you excess amount of money? And I said, no one could buy me out. You know, that's your soul. That's your heart. No one could buy your soul. And that's deep for me. No one could buy my soul, no matter how much money. Now, when you look on this platform, guys, you will see commercial advertising. You will see promotion. You would see commercial. You would see rallies. You would see all of these things. But we maintain to be a platform where every single person have a story to tell, and no one could take that and will take that away from us. It's very, very deep for me. It's personal for me that we continue this, because it's a promise that I made to my father before he died, that I will continue in his journey of allowing people to tell their stories. It's deeply personal for me. It's not just me coming here and talk. I do this for a purpose and a reason. And that's all I have to say on that. Chapter John West, Chris from Chapter chopping. Let me get it right because I don't want to get it mixed up.
The chopping block.
Chopping block. Chops Media. That's it. Livingston Nelson, always great having you on board, my friend. And we'll continue this conversation another time, probably a part 2. All right. Thank you, guys.
Definitely. Thank you,
All right.
Thank you, Livingston.
Yeah, man. Good to meet you.
All right. Great. Absolutely. Thank you, guys. And I think that we always need to address the elephants in the room, the big conversations that a lot of people shy away from and don't like to talk about. Before we did this program here, I observe and I read all the posts. I go to the posts and I see the ignorance that is in people's head. I see the posts of people like they make absolutely no sense. And I'm not calling you any names. I just say that your posts sometimes make absolutely no sense. To affiliate and the things that you would say, even before you're here, we say one word, you already assume what the whole program would be. People try to deter you from talking about the big topics that need to be discussed. We can't shy away from these things, guys. We have to talk about it. If we don't talk about it, nobody else talks about this stuff. Nobody else talk about it because either they don't want to talk about it, they're scared to talk about it, or whatever reason, they might lose funding if they talk about it. But we are different, right? We don't get funding from any political organization. We don't get funding from any NGO in particular. We get paid, monetized on this platform from you, the viewers. So all we are interested in, at the end of the day, our producer, Lloyd, JJ, Gail, Kibbs, and Deanne Fraser, and Jacoby, what we're concerned about is giving you information. Vital and viable information, helping you when you need help. That's why we're here. And you are my boss. Because if everybody just leave and all you go and all you forget about Ride Along and don't come on the platform anymore, we would not have a Ride Along platform. Without you, we have no platform, no program. So we do this for you, not political organization. If NNP were to come in, if NNP were to regain the hold on power here in Grenada, we go hold the foot to the fire. If NDC were to win election this season, we will hold the foot to the fire because we are not obligated. We are not bound by any political organization whatsoever. We are an independent media company, and we will forever be that way. All right. We are only governed by you, the supporters, the viewers. You are my boss. You are my boss. All right. And that's a commitment that I make to you every day. I'm going to continue to highlight the things that affect you. Yes, every day. Thanks again, guys. A lot said, a mouthful said, but it needed to be said. It needed to be said. And we ain't scared of any political rival or what they might say about us or do to us. We're not scared about it. That's fine. We're good. We're good. As long as we're providing information to you, we're good. All right. Thank you guys so much again. I appreciate everyone. Thanks for sharing. I see Miss J up in there. Thank you so much, Miss J. I see everybody. In fact, my mom called me as well. Hi, Mom. How you doing? I'm fine. I'm good. She called me every minute to find out how I'm doing. My mom, she's very, very overprotective of her last son. I am good. I am doing well. Thank you, Mom. All of my brothers and sisters watching and continue to support. We thank you so much. Election is right around the corner, guys, and we are going to be giving you in-depth wall-to-wall election coverage from all over Grenada. We're going to have teams in every parish, bringing you up to date on election coverage. If you have a business and you want to advertise during our election coverage, well, give us a call, inbox us, and we will show you ways that we can market your business. Yeah, show you multiple ways that you can market your business here on Ride Along. You have an event, you want to promote, you want to advertise, you want to market your business, send your business viral, give us a call. The number 718-701-5720. Write it down. Write it down. We love to speak to you on how you could take your business to the next level. All right. Woo! I need water, juice, mango. I need everything. Tired. Did a whole 2.5 hours of talking. Yes, sir. That's what moms are for. Again, guys, thanks to our sponsor sponsoring this segment of the program. Again, it's brought to you with the kind compliments of the third annual Miss Caribbean USA Summer Body Pageant, and that goes down on the 26th of June, and that happens at the American Legion Hall. All right, 26th of June. That's where it's going to be. Also, we got to pick up the sponsors.
Chicks Export Limited, Toronto, Canada. Shipping barrels and other cargo to Grenada in 3 weeks, including custom clearing and home delivery to anywhere in Grenada. They source, purchase, and ship new and used anything. Call or WhatsApp Eric, aka Greens, on 416-569-9755. That's 416-569-9755. Check us out on Facebook at Green Chicks Export or email us at greenchicksexport@gmail.com.
Williams Funeral Service serve you with dignity and compassion as you mourn. Every day, we embark on the journey of life, and one day, the journey will end. It's on that day that you can entrust the celebration of life of your loved ones to David Williams Funeral Service. Call 718-291-3823.
From Right Along Live, keeping you updated with everything happening in your world, from breaking news, election coverage, and a whole lot more. Now, do you have a business that you would like to market or advertise right here on our platform? Then give us a call at 718-701-5720 or inbox us.
It's hard to imagine this is how 2020 started. But across the world, dozens were falling ill with a mysterious virus that would ultimately change life as we know it. Chinese health authorities are still working to identify the virus
The COVID-19 pandemic is now casting doubt over the 2021
As soon as it gets open, I can. 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 I'm tired, see home and need out.
Why you talking the job must pay? All you understand, job must play.
Watch how the party turn up tonight. Because we out and bad and the people better we causing trouble. Trouble, trouble. Just watch how we causing trouble. Trouble, trouble.
You don't carry the fire that my ancestors have given to me. You merely adopted the job. I was born in it. This is job, religion, job, religion. This is job, religion, job, religion. This is job, religion, job, religion. This is job, religion, job, religion.
Well, it's on Right Along, so it's happening here.
Came over here. What does it mean? You know, I grew up in what I guess you call a typical family.
We break all the stories, and that's just a fact. And that's why everyone has a story to tell.
Right Along Live, I mean, yeah, it's the real deal.